Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, thank you for watching our video. In this video, we will talk about one of a complex societal issue in our society nowadays. We will discuss about the topic, should all schools require students to wear uniforms? But before we start our discussion in this video, let us introduce ourselves first. My name is Mahareka, Hamdan with student number 025, and there are two my friends in our group.
And hello, my name is Dewi Lestari Pambudi. My student number is 019. So hi guys, and this is my other friend.
Hello, my name is Rifki Akbar Firmansyah with student number 020.
So that's all of our introduction. Next, we will get into our topic directly. Should all schools require students to wear uniforms? The use of school uniforms arrangement in schools has been an issue of heated discussion in recent years. The choosing of uniforms in educational system is determined by the state or school strategy. However, the goal of implementing school uniforms is to make every student feel the same, regardless of the communities or societies to which they belong. Almost all over the world, uniforms are worn by students in many private and government-funded or public schools. Here we have 5 sources regarding this issue. First is from movies. We have 6 movies that related to the topic. First, The Breakfast Club, 1985. This classic John Hughes film brings together a diverse group of high school students serving Saturday detention. The characters, it's representing different high school stereotypes, challenge societal expectation and explore the pressures to conform. Second, movies that Poet Society 1989. While not directly about uniforms, this film addresses the strict expectation and conformity in all boys preparatory school. It delves into the tension between individual expression and institutional rules. Third, movie titled Freedom Writers 2007. Based on a true story, this film follows a teacher who encourages her students to break free from societal expectation and stereotypes. It explores the broader theme of empowerment and self-expression in an educational setting. Fourth, movie titled The Perks of Being a Wallflower 2012. The film addresses the struggles of high school, including the pressure to conform and the impact of societal expectation on individuality. While not explicitly about uniforms, it touches on the broader themes of identity and acceptance. Fifth movie is titled Presence File, 1998. This film uses the metaphor of a black and white 1950s sitcom to explore themes of conformity, societal expectation, and the value of individual expression. It can be applied to discussions about the imposition of strict dress codes in schools. Last movie is titled Eleven 2003. Directed by Gus Van Sant, this film loosely reflects the events of the Columbine High School massacre. While it doesn't directly address uniforms, it raises questions about the broader issues of bullying, isolation, and the pressure students face in a high school environment. These films may not explicitly focus on school uniforms, but they explore related themes that can contribute to discussions about individuality, conformity, and the impact of rules and expectation in an educational setting. The second source is from poster. We take the infographic poster from www.yourschooluniform.com titled Benefits of School Uniform Infographic. School uniforms provide several benefits to children, schools, and parents, from reducing bullying to financial savings. One of the strongest arguments in favor of school uniforms is that they create student unity and equality. Uniforms in schools reduce individual differences and focus on the school's identity, fostering a sense of belonging among students, regardless of socioeconomic background or personal style. In addition, uniforms can help reduce bullying and societal pressures related to clothing choices because everyone is on an equal playing field. As we can see from this poster above, we can conclude most parents, teachers, even children believe that uniforms can reduce the potential of bullying, and they can mix together and be on the same level without the need of upper or lower
Next, we
classes.
have other media sources, which is YouTube video from Illustrate to Educate. And in this video, we take a look at the arguments for pros and arguments against cons school uniforms and ultimately decide whether schools should require students to wear uniform. From this video, we can summarize or conclude into many pros and cons. I will start at first pros, which is school uniforms deter crime and increase student safety. The implementation of a mandatory uniform policy in Long Beach, California and Sparks Middle School in Nevada resulted in a significant decrease in various incidents such as assault, drug-related offenses, and gang activity, with uniforms being credited for improving school safety, discipline, and fostering a level playing field that reduces peer pressure and bullying. Next, we have school uniforms keep students focused on their education, not their clothes. Former U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton advocates school uniforms as a way to help students focus on learning. Take that clothing choice, like what they wear, off the table and put the focus on school, not on what you are wearing. You are this point at the student. Chris Hammonds, principal of Woodland Middle School in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, explains that uniforms provide for less distraction, less drama, and more of a focus on learning. Last from cons, we have students' legal right to free expression remains intact with mandatory school uniforms. In Kennedy v. Bossier Parish School Board, the U.S. Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals upheld a school board's right to implement a mandatory uniform policy, stating that requiring uniforms for the purpose of increasing test scores and improving discipline is in no way related to the suppression of student speech. Students remain free to wear what they want after school hours. Students may still express their views through other mediums during the school day. Besides, students can still express their individuality in school uniforms by introducing variations and adding accessories. Besides of all those pros, we have many cons too. First, we have school uniforms do not stop bullying and can actually increase violent attacks. Overall, there is no evidence in bullying literature that supports a reduction in violence due to school uniforms, explained Tony Falk, associate professor at Brock University. The oft-quoted improvements to school safety and student behavior in the Long Beach RCA Unified School District from 1993 until 1995 may not have resulted from the introduction of school uniforms. The study in which the findings were published cautioned that it is not clear that these results are entirely attributable to the uniform policy, and suggests that the introduction of new school security measures made at the same time may have been partly responsible. Next, we have school uniforms do not improve attendance, academic preparedness, or exam results. Tom Houlihan, former superintendent of schools in Akbar, North Carolina, stated that school uniforms are a distraction from focusing on systematic and fundamental transformation to improve our school. Last but not least, school uniforms restrict students' freedom of expression. The First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution guarantees that all individuals have the right to express themselves freely. The U.S. Supreme Court stated in Tinker v. Des Moines Independent Community School District in 1969 that it can hardly be argued that either students or teachers shed their constitutional rights to freedom of speech or expression at the schoolhouse gate. In Sweden, a government agency, the School Inspectorate, determined that uniforms were human rights violation because dress and appearance should be considered an individual expression decided by the students themselves.
The another evidence, a barbed feather, the Catholic school influence. The roots of public school uniforms stretch back to 1180s, a time when public schools found themselves under scrutiny and often compared unfavorably their Catholic counterparts. Catholic schools, with their long-standing tradition of uniform, were held up as bastions of discipline and academic achievement. It was during this period that some public schools saw uniforms as a potential remedy, a borrowed feather from the seemingly successful Catholic model. The second is a presidential push. Clinton sees up of approval. The school uniform movement received a significant boost in 1996 when President Clinton himself, a product of public schools, endorsed the idea during his State of the Union address. His now famous statement, "If it means teenagers will stop killing each other over designer jackets, then our public school should be able to require their students to wear school uniforms," became a rallying cry for proponents of the policy. They envisioned uniform as a tool to quell gang violence, foster a sense of unity, and even level the playing field by removing socio-economic disparities in clothing choices. The next is challenges and counterpoints the research unravels. Fast forward to present day, and the picture surrounding school uniforms is less clear-cut. In 2022, a study by researchers from Ohio State University and the University of Pennsylvania titled "School Uniforms and Students' Behavior: Is There a Link?" cast doubt on the effectiveness of uniform in improving social skills. Their findings conclude that the evidence was inconclusive at best, suggesting that uniforms don't necessarily translate to better student behavior. However, the study did offer a glimmer of hope for proponents. Researchers observed that low-income students in schools that required uniforms demonstrate better school attendance than low-income students in schools that didn't. They suggest that for some groups, uniform may offer a positive impact in terms of engagement and commitment to education. The next is the balancing act, weighing pros and cons. The debate surrounding school uniforms continues, with both sides wielding compelling arguments. The proponent side potential benefit like reducing peer pressure, fostering school pride, and creating a safer learning environment. Opponent raised concern about stifling individuality, imposing financial burdens on families, and the lack of conclusive evidence for their effectiveness. Ultimately, the decision of whether or not to implement a uniform policy rests with individual schools and communities. A thorough examination of the research, careful consideration of the specific needs and the context of the student body, an open dialogue with all the stakeholders and crucial steps in navigating these complex and emotionally charged issues. The next is beyond the binary, moving forward with nuanced understanding. This is the last evidence. Perhaps the most important takeaway is the discussion about schools' uniforms should not be reduced to simple binary of good or bad. The issue deserves a nuanced understanding, taking into account of perspective of students, parents, educators, and researchers. Only then can we move forward with solutions that prioritize the well-being and educational success of all students, regardless of the clothes they wear.